Well, happy Friday to everybody. Hope you are doing well on this Friday. I believe it is, I lose track of the dates, sometimes. I believe it's July 17th, but somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's July 17th, 2026. And we're playing the first game from the July 5th, Sunday, July 5th, 1987 date. Game number 535 overall in the replay. We're at the Metrodome in Minnesota for the Baltimore Orioles and the Minnesota Twins. Metrodome very hitter friendly. Singles 1 to 16 left, 1 to 13 right, home runs 11 both sides. Orioles enter the game 31 and 49. Twins enter 38 and 43. Twins definitely underperforming a bit. Starting pitchers for today's game: Dave Schmidt, a right-hander for the Orioles, against Blyleven for the Twins. So we'll take a first look at the home pitcher. That is Blyleven. We'll get his real-life numbers, compare it to the replay numbers. In 1987, Blyleven, 15 and 12 with a 4.01 ERA. On the replay, Blyleven is 7 and 7, ERA of 5.01, so full point higher. 129 innings pitched, 120 hits, 55 walks, and 103 strikeouts. That's where he stands right now. He's got a wild pitch rating of 10, balk of 0, but he's not very good at holding runners on. He's a +2, and then you get the +2 from Butera, makes him a +4. And Butera has a 14 pass ball rating, so not very good either. Butera is an awful catcher defensively. So Alan Wiggins will step up and start things out for the Orioles. He is the designated hitter in this game, and the only problem is he's not doing too much hitting. On the replay, he's hitting 199, a homer and 11 driven in. He hit 232 in the real season. His main thing is stealing bases. That's his big claim to fame, I guess you want to call it. And before we toss the first pitch, we have the ceremonial first sip. And now we are set to go. Alan Wiggins, switch hitter, batting left-handed against Blyleven. We're underway, 3-10, and that's a base hit for Alan Wiggins. And like I said, his first thing, he's going to be looking to run, get a good lead, especially with that +4 hold rating. That's a 2, though, so it's a chance for a balk or a pass ball. I'm sorry, 2, when he's trying to lead, is actually a chance the pitcher will balk. It is not a chance for a pass ball. We're checking a chance for pitcher will balk, but Blyleven's got a 0 balk rating. But what that means is that Wiggins cannot establish a good lead after all, so he will hold. Good morning, Dan. So since we checked on Blyleven for the balk, that means that Wiggins can establish the good lead. So he will have to hold at first base, and that'll send up second place hitter Rick Burleson. He's hitting 213 on the replay. No homers, 9 driven in. He hit 209 real world. He is an A bunter, so we're going to have him bunt right off the bat because he's such a bad hitter. Got to get Wiggins to second base somehow and avoid a double play. So we're going to see where the bunt goes. White die will tell us that. It goes to 3, which is the catcher. So the catcher, Butera, is going to come up from behind the plate to make this play. He's an A bunter. Corners were coming in, so it makes it a B bunter. So basically needs a 9 or less to have a good bunt. That's a 7, and that's very good sacrifice. No problem at all. It's going to go 2 to 4 on the sacrifice. And at least Burleson's out is productive, which otherwise it probably would not have been. I don't like the bunt, but sometimes situations just scream bunt. So Wiggins is in scoring position with 1 out for Cal Ripken. Ripken hitting 254 on the replay, 11 homers, 41 driven in. He hit 252 real world. It's a 6-4 on Blyleven. That's catcher X. And Butera's a 4E5. 4 and a 15. Check the result for that. 4 and a 15. Probably some sort of a pop out, barring a pass ball or something. 4 and a 15 is a, I'm looking at the outfield. Thought that looked funny. Let's get the right chart out here. 4 and a 15 is a potential foul out, but there's also a chance of a pass ball. Error rating first. We'll check the E5. That's a 12. There's no 12 there. So P/F, we look at the wild pitch rating of the pitcher Blyleven. Blyleven's wild pitch rating is a 10. So if we roll a 1 to 10, that means a pass ball has occurred. If we roll 11 through 20, that means Ripken just pops out to the catcher. And it's a 10, so it will be a pass ball on Mr. Butera. And that puts Wiggins at third base with 1 out. And early on in the game, the Twins will play the infield back. So Ripken trying to bring home that run. 6-4, and that's another. We just had a catcher X. Now we got another catcher X. This could be problematic big time. 10, I think we're in the same boat. 10, same thing, potential for pass ball. That's a 9, so there's no error there. But again, a 1 to 10, and we got another pass ball. That's a 4. So back-to-back pass balls. I don't know if I've ever had that before, but we got it here. Back-to-back pass balls on Butera. Brings home the first run of the game for the Orioles. They lead it 1-0. All right, now Ripken will swing away with the bases clear. 5-7, and that's a ground ball to short. Looking at Gagne, and Gagne is a 2E24. 2 and a 3, that's should get to that, I would think. Probably a G3 of some sort, and it is. And Gagne's an E24, so he's got to avoid 4, 6, and then 15, 17, and 18. And that's a 5. It's one of those not so rare plays, so it's just going to be a ground out to short. One away. Could be damned that he didn't get his, Butera didn't get his honorary first sip like he should have had. Or maybe he had an honorary first sip of some other substance other than coffee. That could explain it too. You never know. All right, here's Eddie Murray. He's hitting .314 on the replay. 20 homers, 48 driven in. He hit .277 real world, switch hitter. And that is a 5-4. And that's going to be an in-home run chance straight off the bat, and that is gone. Eddie Murray. Eddie Murray. Blyleven was susceptible to giving up the long ball. He gave up 46 home runs real world. And this is one of them here. That's why he has a straight-up in-home run on his card. Eddie Murray goes deep. That makes this run earned now. It would have been unearned otherwise. But it's earned now. Eddie Murray, home run number 21 on the replay. RBIs 49 and 50. I'm sorry, just 49 because there was only one guy on base. It was a solo shot. So it's 2-0 Orioles. And that brings up Freddie Lynn. Lynn hitting 200 on the replay. Exactly 200 in 260 at-bats. 18 homers, 39 driven in. He hit .253 real world. That's a 2-5 for Lynn. He's going to ground it Gaetti, and the inning is over. But 2 runs for the Orioles here in the top of the first. We go to the bottom of the first. It's Baltimore 2, Minnesota coming to bat. A very sloppy inning by the Twins here in this top of the first. Now we go to the bottom of the first, and we look at the Orioles starting pitcher. Starting pitcher for the Orioles is Dave Schmidt. He was 10-5 with a .377 earned run average in the real season. He also had 1 save during the real season. He split time between bullpen and starting. On the replay, he's 2-4 with a 3.81 earned run average. 78 innings pitched, 82 hits, 15 walks, 34 strikeouts. And he'll be facing Dan Gladden of the Twins. Gladden hitting .235 on the replay, 5 homers, 22 driven in. He hit .249 real world. Good morning, RN and Jeremiah. It's hot and steamy here too, RN. in Central Virginia. It is definitely hot and steamy, even at 9:30 in the morning. I opened the door a few minutes ago before I came upstairs, and it kind of hit you. It just kind of hit you. So anyway, it's July. I mean, it's supposed to be hot in July. I mean, I've never, in my 61 years of living, I've never experienced a cold July. It's always hot and humid. I mean, that's just the way things are. All right. Here's Dan from Gladden. Here's Dan Gladden. There's supposed to be hazy smoke. I haven't seen a hazy sky yet. Of course, I haven't really looked outside very much, so I don't know. There was forecasts saying the air quality was supposed to be bad because of the Canadian wildfires or something. I don't know. I guess a little bit of smoke combined with the hot, hazy, humid. But I'm staying inside, so the air here inside is just fine. 6-5 for Schmidt is a pop-up to second. One away. Brings up Kirby Puckett. Puckett, unusual for him to hit second. Usually he's a third place hitter. But for whatever reason today, Tom Kelly has him hitting second. He's hitting 322 on the replay, 12 homers, 42 driven in. He hit 332 real world. And that is a 2-8 for Puckett. He grounds it to Ripken. And there's two away. Two down. And Randy Bush, your batter. Randy Bush is the right fielder in this game. He's hitting 260 on the replay. 2 homers, 15 driven in. He hit 253 real world. 110 for Bush, and he flies to right, and that's a 1-2-3 inning for Dave Schmidt. And probably the two biggest underperforming teams in this replay are the two teams that won these divisions real world. Talking about the Twins and the Tigers. I know the Brewers and A's are overperforming, but the underperformance of the Twins and Tigers is also attributed to that. Of course, there's still a couple months to go, like 3 months of the season to go. So, not quite 3 months. We got most of July, then August and September. So basically 3 months of the season to go. So anything can happen, but that's the story of the first half anyway. All right, Ray Knight will lead off for the Orioles. He's hitting 229, 9 homers, 30 driven in. He hit 256 real world. 6-6 for Blyleven, and that's a 1-14 single. Anything else he lines to short, and that's a liner right to Gagne. One away, and that'll bring up the right fielder, Larry Sheets. Mostly played left field and DH, but getting a shot in right field today. He is hitting 316, 11 homers, 26 driven in on the replay, and he's also hit 316 real world, so he's rounding his numbers. He's a little bit behind on home runs, though. He's only got 11, and he's almost got half his at-bats, and he hit 31 real world, so he's one of the few guys that has underperformed on home runs. Most guys are overperforming. 5-4, but not now. 5-4, he found the exact same role Murray found. That 5-4 is a straight out in home run, and Larry Sheets gets home run number 12. 12th home run on the replay at 31 real world, but number 12 here. RBI number 27, and the Orioles lead it 3-0. Good morning, Dr. D. 3-0 Orioles, and that brings up the left fielder, Ken Gerhart. Gerhart hitting 227, 8 homers, 22 driven in. He hit 243 real world. That's a 6-9 on Blyleven. That's a fly to right, 2 down. And that brings up the backup catcher, typical for a Sunday afternoon game, I guess. And it's going to be Dave Van Gorder, giving Terry Kennedy the game off. Van Gorder only had 21 at-bats real world. Hit 238, 1 homer. On the replay, he's had 15 at-bats so far, and he's hitting 267, no homers, and a run driven in. That's a 1-11, and that's a strikeout. And that will end the inning. First strikeout for Blyleven. But the long ball gets him again as Larry Sheets goes deep. And we go to the bottom of the second. It's 3-0 Orioles. Due up for the Twins, it'll be Kent Hrbek, Gary Gaetti, and Roy Smalley. Hrbek hitting .289 on the replay, 18 homers, 55 driven in. He hit .285 real world, so he's not too far off. 3-8, and that's going to be a base on balls. First walk of the game for Schmidt. Hrbek no threat to run. Here comes Gary Gaetti, third baseman. Gaetti hitting .275 on the replay, 17 homers, 68 driven in. He hit .257 in the real season. Morning, Paul. 3-8 is going to be a 1-10 single. 11-20, he lines to short. And that's a liner right to Ripken, one away. And that'll bring up the designated hitter, veteran Roy Smalley. Smalley hitting .273 on the replay, 5 homers, 32 driven in. He hit .275 real world. Switch hitter. 3-7 for Smalley, and he struck him out. First strikeout for Schmidt. 2 down, and it brings up Greg Gagne. Gagne hitting .351 on the replay, 8 homers, 40 driven in. He hit .265 real world, so he's definitely overperformed. 4-11. That's a fly ball to right field X. We're looking at Larry Sheets. He's a 4 out there. 4-8. .4 and a 15. He will get to it. We'll check about the E8, but I believe the 4 and a 15 is fine. 4 and a 15 is an F2. So he's an E8, and it means he has to avoid 3, 6, and then 15 through 18. 3, 6, and then 15 through 18. And he does just that, makes the play. Gagne is out, and so are the Twins. So we play 2 at the Metrodome. It's the Orioles 3, Twins nothing. And we go to the top of the third for the top of the order for the Orioles. Alan Wiggins back out. Singled. Went to second on a sacrifice bunt by Burleson, and then 2 straight pass balls by Sal Butera scored Wiggins from all the way from second base. 1-5, and he's going to line it right to Hrbek. 1 away. That'll send up Rick Burleson. 2-6 for Burleson. He grounds it to Gagne. That's 2 away. 2 up, 2 down, and here comes Cal Ripken. 2-9 for Ripken, struck him out. Second strikeout for Blyleven. His first 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom of the third, still 3-0. And bottom portion of the order for the Twins, Steve Lombardozzi, followed by Butera and then Gladden. So Lombardozzi comes in hitting .242 on the replay, 3 homers, 17 driven in. He hit .238 real world. 1-9, and that's a base on balls. Second walk issued by Schmidt. And that'll send up Sal Butera. Butera hitting .209 on the replay, a homer and 6 driven in. He only hit .171 in the actual season. It's a 1-10, and that's a ground ball shortstop A. That is a Giovanni's Taylor shot. Taylor made double play, 6-4-3. Pitcher's best friend, as they say. And we'll get a close-up of that result. A 1-10 against right-handers, you can see, is a ground ball shortstop A, and that is a Giovanni's Taylor shot. Taylor made double play. Giovanni's Taylor Shop, Lemoyne, Pennsylvania. If you're in that area and you have tailoring needs, be sure to stop by and see them. Tell them Demo sent you, they'll give you a discount. They are the unofficial sponsor of the channel, but the official sponsor of the Giovanni's Taylor Shop, tailor-made double play of the game. So 2 quick outs, and here comes Dan Gladden. 4-9 against Schmidt is a ground ball to Burleson, and that'll take care of things. So the leadoff walk does not come back to hurt Schmidt, courtesy of the double play. We've completed 3 innings here at the Metrodome, and the score is still Baltimore 3 and the Twins nothing. It's like the Twins need to wake up. Blyleven back out. We'll face Murray, Lynn, and Knight. And of course, Murray took him deep. That 5-4 number really got to him. He's got to avoid those 5-4 numbers. That's a 6-2, and that's a ground ball right back to Blyleven. Easy out there, 1 away. And that'll take us to Mr. Fred Lynn. 110 for Lynn. He flies to Puckett. 2 quick outs. In fact, now 7 in a row retired by Blyleven since the home run by Sheets. Here is Knight. 6-9, and that's a fly to right field. Bush puts it away. 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Still 3-0 O's. Heart of the order coming up for the Twins. Puckett, Bush, and Herbeck. 2, 3, and 4 hitters. Second time through the order. Maybe they figured something out on Schmidt. So we'll see if Twins can make anything happen. That is a 1-8. And that's a base hit by Kirby Puckett. And there goes the no-hitter. Kirby Puckett, a leadoff single. And he might be looking to run here because Schmidt's a +5 on his hold. He's a +3. Van Gorder is a +4 for a +7. So +5 is as bad as you can get. So even though they're down 3-0, steal seems to be the play. Maybe it can spark the. Sometimes you need something like that to spark your offense, get you a kickstart. So he needs a 4, 5, or 6. And he gets the 6. He's going to go. 15, being held as a 13, but the +5's an 18. Now, Van Gorder is a T rating of 13, so if he throws through and we roll a 1, 2, or 3, it's a good chance he'll have a throwing error. But they still have to throw through. They can't just let him have carte blanche here. So 1-18, and he's in there, and it's a possible throwing error. So 1-13, and he throws it away. So bad mistake there by the Orioles. Stolen base for Puckett and an E2. So sometimes when you get aggressive, you force the other team into mistakes. And that's exactly what happens here. He should have just let Puckett have the base. But Van Gorder showing a little bit of his inexperience there, tossing that away unnecessarily. So Puckett's at third with nobody out for Randy Bush. Infield is back for the Orioles. They'll concede a run to get the out. 3-5 for Bush, and that's a 1-12 is a 2-run home run. 13-20, he flies to right. And that's gone. So it didn't matter about all this. It's all a moot point now. Home run takes care of everything. Randy Bush, don't think of him much as a home run hitter. In fact, he hit 11 home runs on the real season, but he only had 293 at-bats. So if you extrapolate that, he's a pretty good hitter as far as power goes. That's his 3rd home run of the replay. He had 11 real world. Home run number 3, RBI 16 and 17, cuts the lead to 3-2. Just that quickly. So apparently second time through the order, and Schmidt is in trouble. Here's Kent Herbeck. 4-4, and that's an in-home run chance, 1-10. 11-20 is a double. And we got back-to-back jacks, and we got a tie ball game just that quickly. It is now 3-3. Kent Herbeck, home run number 19 on the replay. He had 34 real world. This is home run number 19, RBI number 56. And we are tied at 3 apiece. And Cal Ripken Sr. pulling out what little bit of hair he's got left in his head, trying to figure out what Schmidt's throwing up there. and what Van Gorder is calling. Here's Gaetti. Now we get a brand new game. 4-11. That's a fly ball right field X. And again, that is Sheets, who's a 4 out in right field. 4 and a 9. That's going to be iffy. 4 and a 9 is going to be a base hit. 4 and 9 is a single. Wasn't that iffy? It was 4 and 9 is a single. E8. Got to avoid the 15, the 6, the 15 through 18. And that is a 15, so that's going to be an error on top of everything else. E8 and a 15 is a 2-base error. So that's going to send Gaetti all the way to third base. Second error of the inning for the Orioles. They're starting to fall apart here. Single and a 2-base error on Mr. Sheets. And so Gaetti is at third with nobody out still. Roy Smalley, the batter. Infield is in, trying to chuck the run off. It's a 1-8 for Smalley, and he struck him out. Big strikeout there for Schmidt. So Schmidt trying to get out of this mess. Runner at third still with 1 out for Greg Gagne. That's a 2, possible balk or pass ball. Looking at a balk rating on Schmidt, his balk rating's a 0, so no balk. That's a 6-6, and that's a line out right to Ray Knight for out number 2. So Schmidt 1 out away from pitching around that 2-base error by Sheets. And he's got to get Steve Lombardozzi in the clutch. Lombardozzi in the clutch. Loses 2 hits, 3-5 and 3-9. 4-6 rather is going to be a base hit. That's going to give the Twins the lead. 1 to 10 is a double, 11 to 20 is a single. And that'll be a single, RBI single for Steve Lombardozzi. And it's a 4-score Abraham Lincoln inning. This run's still unearned unless there's more hitting going on. Here's Butera. Butera, the batter. 6-4. Catcher X, and we're over to Van Gorder. He's a 3. 3 and a 10. 3 and a 10 for a catcher. Let's see what that shows up. 3 and a 10 is a possible pass ball or foul out, either way. Let's see here. Error rating is an E8. So he's got to avoid 6, 15, and 18, which he does. It's that rare play again, which I'm not messing with. Actually, I will use it this time because it's going to produce a catcher's interference. So it says the batter swings and misses the pitch, but he is awarded first base. So we're going to have catcher interference just because that's one unique thing I don't get to see very often. So we're going to play with it. And Butera reaches on catcher's interference. I think the catcher is charged an error on this, but I'm not sure. I'm going to put it into the thing here and see if the computer did get it. Is considered an error apparently because the computer assigned another error to the Orioles. So apparently catcher's interference does produce an error. So now Dan Gladden is up, 2 outs, first and second, clutch situation again, and he will lose some hits on a 2-8 and 3-3. That is a 1-7, and he strikes out to end the inning. So the Twins send 9 to the plate. 4 of them score, and they take a 4-3 lead. So that run is unearned. It doesn't matter. It counts all the same. It's 4-3, our score. So let's see here. Something got off on the computer. So let me make sure what we have here. But I put things correctly in the computer. I did not. So let's go back and redo that play to make sure that we've got it correct. For some reason, the Strat computer defaulted to the runner on first being out on a catcher interference. That's what threw me off. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know why it would default to being out, because if the catcher's interference, nobody's out. So we got that corrected. Oh, it didn't give. Boy, this thing is just not doing well. Let's try it for the third time. This catcher's interference on the direct entry. It keeps Butera at the plate, which it shouldn't do. It should give him first base, and it should send Lombardozzi to second. I don't know why it defaults otherwise. That's a little glitch there in the computer game, I guess. So then Gladden strikes out to end the inning, and now we're back on schedule. Larry Sheets up to the plate, and all of a sudden Burt Blyleven's got the lead back. Question is, can he hold it? Well, if he can avoid that 5-4, he might have a good chance. He's been dinged by that 5-4 roll twice. And here's one of the guys that got him, Larry Sheets. 4-6, and that's going to be a base on balls. And that is actually the first walk issued by Blyleven. Sheets is aboard. No real threat to run. Here's Ken Gerhardt. Oh, that had held up. Let's try that again. There we go. 6-9 for Gerhardt, and that's a fly to right field. Bush puts it away. One down for Van Gorder. That is a 4-5, which is a pop out to Lombardozzi. Two down. And back to Alan Wiggins. Wiggins is 1 for 2 so far with a run scored. 2-5 for Wiggins, and he pops it up to Gaetti to end the inning. So nothing doing for the Orioles. They somehow managed to take a 3-0 lead and turn it into a 4-3 deficit in the blink of an eye. So we're back out now for Schmidt, facing Puckett, Bush, and Herbeck, and this is where the trouble started last inning. This is the batting order he faced. So he's got to have a little bit better pitching and certainly better defense. That is a 5-8 against the right-hander, and that's a fly ball to right field, and that's put away out there. Oops, wrong thing here. That's put away out there by Sheets. When they bat around, or almost bat around, it kind of throws everything out of kilter here. So one away for Randy Bush. He homered his last time up. 5-9 lefty is a ground ball second. So Burleson makes the play. So 2 up, 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th. And that'll send up Kent Herbeck. 1-2 for Herbeck. That's a Lomax plus injury, so he might be injured on this play. They may have to call on Gene Larkin to come in, take over. 1-6, he can stay in the game. 7 or 20, he's out of the game. He is out of the game, so they're going to have to move to Gene Larkin to take over for Herbeck. Gene Larkin will be the new first baseman. So Larkin will take over at first base in the 6th inning. In place of Herbeck. I guess he swung and felt a little bit of a twinge, and they didn't want to take any chances, so they're going to pull him out. Now we start the top of the 6th. But on the computer, I need to put in Larkin to play first base in place of Herbeck. Now we're straight. All right, so Blyleven back out, start the 6th, and he'll be facing Rick Burleson. Can't pinch hit for Burleson. We're only in the 6th inning. My rule is got to be 7th inning or later, unless there's a pitching change. Otherwise, you got to stick with your starters. So here's Burleson. 4-3, and that's a ground ball. And look at that. You're bringing a new first baseman, and where does the first ground ball go? It goes right to the first baseman, Larkin. If we look at Larkin, Larkin is a 4E16, so a far cry from the 1E12 here. He's a 4E16 at first base. So we'll see if he can get to this. As a 4, he needs to have at least a 7 or higher to get to this. He does, a 12, so that's fine. So G3. And his error rating, Larkin's error rating's an E16 at first base. So he has to avoid 3, 11, 12, and then 16 and 17. And that's a 14, so he's just fine. So he'll get it and flip to Blyleven covering to retire Burleson. But it's just amazing how you bring in a new fielder and the ball finds them. The dice know, I'm telling you. They just know. That'll bring up Cal Ripken. Ripken. Oops. Ripken, the batter. 6'10", and that's a ground ball third base X. We're looking at Gaetti. He's a 1, so we know he's going to get to it. We're just looking at E12 for potential error. And at third base, a 12 and a 16 are the only 2 error numbers. 12 and 16. That's another 5, but with nobody on base, there's no rare play to worry about. And it's just a ground out to third. 2 down, and that will send up Eddie Murray. 6-7, switch hitter, ground ball shortstop X. Now we're looking at Gagne, 2E24. 2 and a 20 is good. E24 at shortstop, he has to avoid 4, 6, 15, 17, and 18. And he does just that, no problem. 1, 2, 3 inning for Blyleven. And we go to the bottom of the 6th. Still 4-3 Twins. And this will be the fatigue inning for Dave Schmidt. Inning number 6 is his fatigue inning. He will be facing Gaetti, Smalley, and Gagne, scheduled hitters. All right, so Murray, Brownie to short, ends that inning. And now Schmidt will be facing Gaetti. 110, and that's a ballpark blast for Gaetti. It's a 1-11. 1-11. And it's a 16, so just a deep fly to left. Schmidt avoids disaster there. 1 away. And that'll bring up the DH, Roy Smalley. 2-8 for Smalley, and he flies to right. 2 down for Greg Gagne. 111 for Gagne, and that's a ballpark blast for Gagne. Again, a 1-11. And this time, Schmidt not so lucky. Greg Gagne. Solo home run with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. For Gagne, that is home run number... Let's get his numbers up here. For Gagne, that is home run number 9. He had 10 real world. He's hit his 9th already in just about half of his bats. RBI number 41, which already exceeds the 40 RBI he had real world. So he is definitely one of the ultimate overperformers in this replay. Twins now lead it by the score of 5-3. And here is Lombardozzi. 6-3, and that's going to be a ground ball pitcher at Schmidt. He is a 3-E12 for a pitcher. 3-E12. 3 and an 8. I think he'll get to that without any issue. You would think he would. 3 and an 8 is a G3. He is an E12, so he's got to avoid 6, 12, 15, and 18. 6, 12, 15, and 18. 7, he barely does, but it gets the play done. And that's going to end the inning. And that's going to do it for Schmidt. I think he's done with 6 innings. And we'll turn it over to the Oriole bullpen starting the 7th inning. And speaking of the 7th inning, Blyleven, that is his fatigue inning. So we'll keep an eye on Blyleven. Make sure he doesn't run into any kind of fatigue issues. So we'll go to our box score and get the numbers, final numbers on Dave Schmidt. Schmidt will go 6 innings. He will give up 6 hits, 5 runs, 4 burned, walked 2, struck out 3, and he gave up 3 long balls. That's one of the things that hurt him. We've had 5 home runs in this game. It is the Homer Dome after all. 5 home runs in this game, and 4 of the 5 have been solo shots. The only one was a 2-run homer was Bush's. Everybody else has been solo home run. So here's Freddie Lynn. 4-6, and that's a leadoff walk. And for Blyleven, his 2nd walk of the inning. Fred Lynn, would he dare try to steal? Let's look at Lynn's numbers on real season and see if how many stolen bases attempts he had. Real world. He stole 3 bases, got caught 7 times real world. So he's going to steal. And you got to attempt these steals if you're going to recreate those caught stealings. So he is going to go. He's had 1 steal and been caught twice in the replay. So Lynn's going to go. He needs a 2 through 6 or a 12. If he rolls a 7 through a 10, he is caught. And that's a 9, so he is caught stealing or picked off, whatever you want to call it. We'll go ahead and call it caught stealing. So Lynn is out. And that brings up Ray Knight. 4-11, and that is a fly ball left field X. Gladden's a 2. 2 and a 10. He'll get to that. E5 is his error rating for a left fielder. E5, he's got to avoid 4, 14, and 18. And 16 is just fine. So Gladden makes the play on Knight. 2 quick outs, and that's going to... And we get the old standard scam likely. Got to love that once a day. I've gotten a lot of spam calls here lately. I don't know what kind of spam calls you guys might get, but I've had several in a row asking me about tax relief or helping me pay my back taxes or something like. I don't have any back taxes to pay, so I don't know where you're getting that from. But whatever. I got to find somebody to do something, I guess. Some scam. Here's Sheets. 6-6 for Sheets, and that's going to be a 1-5. 6-20 is a line out. And that's a line out to Lombardozzi to end the inning. So Blyleven will keep endurance into the 8th inning. He only gave up the walk, and that was it. We go to the 7th inning stretch here in Minnesota. Twins lead it still 5-3. Now the Orioles will need a new pitcher. So we go to their bullpen, see who they might want to go to, who's got the rest and so forth. I don't think Tony Arnold has pitched in a while. Let me check him out here. He has been kind of overused a little bit, though, so maybe he's pitched more than I thought. So it looks like we're going to Doug Corbett. So Doug Corbett will come on for the Orioles. 0-2 with a 7.83 ERA and 1 save on the real season for Mr. Corbett. On the replay, he's 0-0 with an ERA of 0. He's pitched 8 innings without giving up a run. So talk about the ultimate overperformer for the Orioles. He has given up only 4 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. So here's Butera. 1-8, and that is a strikeout. 1 away. And that brings up Dan Gladden. 1-2 for Gladden. That's a home run. 1-2, a double on a 3-20. And that's a double for Dan Gladden. 1 out double for Gladden. And that'll send up Kirby Puckett. 4-10, and that's a strikeout. Second strikeout for Corbett. Sends up Randy Bush in a clutch situation. Bush in the clutch will gain some hits, at least a couple hits, 3-3 and 3-10. We get a 1-5, though, and that's a fly to center, and that's going to end the inning. So Corbett, no problems there. He'll come back and pitch the 8th as well. We go to the 8th inning. It's still 5-3 in favor of the Twins. Blyleven still hanging in there. And the way their bullpen's going, even Jeff Reardon, Tom Kelly might be a little squeamish about trying to go that route. Ken Gerhart will lead it off. They will pinch hit for Van Gorder, no question about that. We will definitely have a pinch hitter for Van Gorder, and it's going to be Jim Dwyer. And then Kennedy will come in and catch the bottom of the 8th. So Dwyer will do the pinch hitting. And Kennedy will catch the 9th. But first things first, it is Ken Gerhart. Probably get a pinch hitter for Wiggins, too, most likely. But we will see how things pan out. So here's Ken Gerhart. That's a 5-4, and that's an in-home run chance 1-10. That 5-4 got Blyleven twice against lefties. Against righties, it's not quite as damaging because you got a 50-50 chance of giving up just a double. So 1-10 is a home run. 11-20 is a double. That's just going to be a double for Gerhart. Gerhart doubles. Now the tying run is at the plate, and Jim Dwyer. I'm going to bring Dwyer in on the computer to hit for Mr. Van Gorder. And Mike Young has already picked up a bat to hit for Wiggins as well. Dwyer on the replay hitting 270, 7 homers, 19 driven in at 274 real world. Jim Dwyer. 5-8, and that's a strikeout for Blyleven. That is only his 3rd strikeout. So Dwyer fails in the pinch, and now Wiggins is going to be called back. And we will be looking at Mike Young. Mike Young, the pinch hitter. And he'll stay in the game as a DH. Mike Young. So we'll bring Young in on the computer. See what his numbers look like. Young on the replay is hitting just 218, 9 homers, 24 driven in at 240. Real world with 16 home runs. Clutch situation. No, not quite clutch. It's only one out. Not quite clutch yet. 3-5 for Young, and that is a 1 for a triple. Anything else will be a fly to right. And he flies it to right field for out number 2. And now we get a pinch hitter for Burleson. So Burleson will leave. And they'll get a pinch hitter for Mr. Burleson. And that will be Rene Gonzalez, who will stay in the game to play second base. Rene Gonzalez. Clutch situation for Gonzalez. In the clutch, he will gain a hit on 111. That's a 4-4, and it's a fly ball center field X. That's Puckett. He's a 1. We know he's going to get to it. Just looking at the E6 for potential error. Center fielder, E6, he's got to avoid 3, 4, 15, and 18. And he does. So Puckett makes the catch. So the leadoff double doesn't hurt Blyleven or the Twins. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. Score still 5-3. I forgot to bring in Gonzalez here on the computer, so let's do that. Get him that at bat. And he ends up flying to center. Now we got to make the mass substitutions on defense. Terry Kennedy will come in and catch and bat in the number 9 position. Gonzalez will stay in the game to play second. Mike Young will stay in the game as DH. So Lee Lacy is the only position player they have remaining. Doug Corbett back out will face Larkin, Gaetti, and Smalley. Still a 5-3 game. Jeff Reardon is loosening the Twins bullpen for the 9th, but they're wondering if they should bring him in or let Blyleven finish the deal. Blyleven gave up a couple runs early, but since then he's been pretty effective. However, Reardon can use some use, so I think we are going to go ahead and bring in. We're going to manage it the way they would have managed it in '87. I'm pretty sure they would have brought in Jeff Reardon for the 9th inning. So Jeff Reardon will be coming in for the 9th. Try to save it for the Twins. Right now, Gene Larkin, 6-8 against the lefty, and that's a walk. That's assuming the Twins don't score a couple runs and turn this into a non-save situation. So that's a lot of assumptions there. It's a leadoff walk for Larkin, and that brings up Gaetti. 4-8 for Larkin. That's a home run, 1-2, double 3-20, and that's gone. So now it's not a save situation anymore. Gary Gaetti, 2-run shot for Gaetti, just blown this thing wide open. So now we're looking at Blyleven finishing what he started. No reason to bring in Reardon now. Gaetti with home run number 18 on the replay. RBIs 69 and 70 for him on the replay. He had 31 homers real world. But the 2-run homer now makes it 7-3, where it is no longer a save situation. So here is Roy Smalley. 6-11, and that's a ballpark single. Pretty good, 1-16. That's a pretty good chance. And that is a base hit. And that's going to send up Greg Gagne. 4-6 for Gagne. That's a 1-13 single. Anything else he grounds to third. And that is a 2. That's a base hit. So all of a sudden, Corbett running into some serious issues. But they really don't want to use another bullpen arm if they don't have to. Here's Lombardozzi. 1-8 for Lombardozzi. That's a ground ball to short. It's another Giovanni's Tailor Shop, tailor-made double play, 6-4-3. And that'll get 2 quick outs to help Corbett quite a bit. That'll put a runner at third with 2 outs now. And Sal Butera, the catcher. Clutch situation for Butera, and he is neutral in that situation. 3-8, and he will ground it to short to end the inning. But 2 runs come in for the Twins, courtesy of the Gaetti home run. We go to the 9th. It is now 7-3 Minnesota. And Bert Blyleven is going to come out and finish what he started. If he gets into trouble and gives up a couple of runs or base runners or whatnot, then we might see Mr. Reardon come in and close the deal. But right now, they're going to bring back Blyleven. Either, you know what? Actually, what they're going to do, since they've got the good lead now, they're going to bring in a schlub from the bullpen that needs work. Somebody they wouldn't normally bring in because they're too scared to bring him in. So let's see who needs the work. Schatzeder, maybe? Yeah, Dan Schatzeder definitely needs the work. So they're going to bring in left-hander Dan Schatzeder. So we'll cap Blyleven at 8 innings. And he's going to give up 3 runs, all of which were earned, on just 4 hits. He walked 2, struck out 3. And now Dan Schatzeder, or Schatzeder, depending on how you want to pronounce it. He will be in for the Twins to face Ripken, Murray, and Lynn. Get the numbers on Schatzeder. He was 3-1 with a 6.39 ERA and no saves. On the replay, he's 0-0 with a 6.23 ERA. Just 9 innings pitched, 11 hits, no walks, 4 strikeouts. But in 9 innings, he has given up 4 home runs. So we'll monitor the situation. If it gets to within 2 or 3 runs, then you will see Mr. Reardon come in and get the save. Otherwise, they're going to have shots that are try to finish out the deal. Here's Ripken. 2-7 for Ripken, and that's a 1-2 single. Anything else, he lines it to Gagne. And that's going to be a line drive to Gagne. 1 away. One down, and that's going to take us to Eddie Murray. 4-9 against Switcher batting right. That's a 1-in home run on a 1, but anything else is a fly to right field. And that's a fly to right, 2 down. Last chance is Fred Lynn. Lefty-lefty matchup. 6-7, and that's a base hit for Fred Lynn. 2-out single for Lynn keeps the game going, at least for one more batter. And that one more batter is Ray Knight. Whoops, ooh, dropping my D20 all over the place here, aren't we? Just dropping stuff left and right. Ray Knight. 1-7 for Knight, and he strikes out to end the ball game. Twins win it by the score of 7-3. I'd forgotten to put Corbett over here by mistake. We'll fill him in later. So Schatzeder, 1 inning pitched, 1 hit, nothing, and a strikeout. So the Orioles end up 3 runs, 5 hits, and 3 errors. Twins, 7 runs, 10 hits, and no errors. So we'll go to the box score, get the totals in this one, and wrap things up from the Metrodome. Twins, a much-needed victory to end their week, or end their series with the Orioles. Winning pitcher is Blyleven. He is now 8-7. Losing pitcher is Schmidt. He's now 2-5. Corbett went 2 innings, gave up 4 hits and 2 runs. Walked 1, struck out 2. Twins now 39-43, and the Orioles dropped to 31-50. So that finishes out our Friday in this replay. But we only played one game on July 5th, so next week is going to be 5 out of the 6 games will be played next week. One game will be played offline. I'm not sure which one that's going to be yet. Could be Boston and Oakland. Not sure. But one of the games will be played offline. The other 5 will be played online throughout next week. But game 535 is in the books. And the Twins defeat the Orioles by the score of 7-3. So later this afternoon, I will be uploading a pre-recorded first 3 rounds of the PGA Championship from Quail Hollow in Charlotte on History Maker Golf. And then tonight we'll have the final game of the Reds and the Rockies in the Rockies Horror Baseball Show. That'll be tonight. Tomorrow at noon, roughly, we will have the NBC Game of the Week in Inside Pitch, 1979. Houston Astros at the Pittsburgh Pirates from Three River Stadium. And then on Sunday, we'll have Sunday Basic Sunday, Strat-O-Matic, 1962. It'll be the St. Louis Cardinals against the Houston Colt 45s. Bob Gibson will get the start for the Cardinals. So that's what's on the agenda the next couple of days. And, of course, on Sunday also will be the final round of the PGA Championship in History Maker Golf. So that's going to do it from here. Hope you all have a great start to your Friday. Hope your weekend goes well. Hope you stay cool out there in this heat if you're in an area that's really, really hot like most of us are, especially on the East Coast. And until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and we'll see you all down the road.